A year ago, I covered a massive dental scam that ruined people's lives by pushing their teeth right out of their heads with a palate expander. I hope that was the last dental scam I would have to cover, but of course TikTok always finds a way to ruin humanity a little more each day, and now we have a new dental veneer scam that has been ruining lives by the thousands by having fake dentists perform operations on people's mouths, all just so they can save a little money by not having to go to an actual dentist. This veneer scam has been incredibly popular on TikTok among lower income groups for the past few years, and only recently have authorities started to crack down on this, with one of the most successful scammers recently being arrested and charged with multiple felonies for running a scam dental service promoted through TikTok. Many people don't really have the smiles they want, whether that be from missing or broken teeth, or perhaps their teeth are misaligned or discolored. Whatever the case, many people want to change their smile. One of the most popular ways to fix your smile is by getting something called veneers. Porcelain veneers are the most expensive form and can vary in price based on many factors, with a full set being upwards of $40,000 in some cases. With this being a cosmetic procedure, most dental insurance won't cover this, so most people can't afford to do that and seek alternative methods to get a nicer smile. This is where the TikTok scammers come into play. Over the past few years, many of these accounts have been popping up, showing massive transformations of ruined teeth being changed into perfect bright white smiles, all through the process of composite veneers for a fraction of the cost of what it would be for porcelain veneers. Many of these people look massively better after getting this work done, and these clips make for amazing viral short-form videos, so it's really no surprise this type of content ended up going viral on TikTok. The problem with this whole trend is that if you dig a little deeper, this type of composite veneer work is being done by unlicensed dentists, most of them taking only a short 2-day course to learn how to do this from a scammer who was also not a licensed dentist himself. Once the course was complete, he would grant you the title of Veneer Tech, which is a made-up title that is not recognized by any medical organization, and these people would then begin performing these composite veneer procedures on people for fractions of the cost normal dentists do the procedure for. Many people who went to these made-up veneer techs have had their lives ruined and now are warning others on social media about these companies, with many of them now having to pay tens of thousands of dollars to actual dentists to try and fix the horrible mistakes done by these scammers.
I figured I'd show you guys what I had to get today. Can't close my mouth. It's this freaking mouthpiece to fix my jaw because, as you guys know, Smile Dental Center 32 in Miami ruined my life, and this cost me $10,000, and now I will not be able to close my mouth for 6 months unless I'm eating. Isn't it so cute? And it looks so weird with my tongue right here. So I've been crying all day. You can tell my lashes are stuck together. Thank you, Smile Dental Center, for ruining my life.
What makes this whole situation even worse is that composite veneers, what these scammers are doing, is an actual real procedure that is done by licensed dentists, and it's a procedure I've actually had done to myself personally by a licensed dentist. So it's unfortunate to see this real technique that can be done safely get such a bad name because of these scammers. We'll talk about my experience with veneers and more about this scam after a brief word from today's sponsor. With the holidays upon us, life can get hectic. Many of us, myself included, will turn to fast food when we don't have the time to make a home-cooked meal. Unfortunately, these meals usually aren't the best for our health, but home-cooked meals can take too much time out of our day. A great alternative is today's sponsor, Factor. Factor is a meal plan that offers chef-crafted, restaurant-quality meals delivered right to your door. Their meals are ready to heat and eat in just 2 minutes, which means more time for you. I was actually a customer of Factor before they reached out to me to do a sponsorship, so I was more than happy to take them up on the offer. They offer a wide variety of different gourmet meals to choose from based on your dietary needs. My personal favorites are the honey mustard chicken, as well as the Santa Fe style green chili beef skillet. On top of their great meals, Factor also offsets 100% of delivery emissions and sources 100% renewable electricity for their production sites and offices. You can change your order up every week with plans from 4 to 18 meals per week and have the option to pause or reschedule your delivery anytime. If you would like to try Factor, click on the link in the pinned comment to get 50% off and free shipping on your first Factor box and 20% off your next month of orders with coupon code SCHAEFER50. Thanks again to Factor for sponsoring this video. As I mentioned before, these scammers offer something called composite veneers for a fraction of the cost offered by dentists, but since they don't have the medical background to correctly do them, it's ruining lives. One lady who had one of these veneer techs work on her teeth ended up with abscesses in her mouth from the faulty work and ended up having to go to the emergency room to save her life.
I appreciate you for trying to accommodate the situation, but unfortunately, what I just went through, I'm not going to be able to come back. I said I got abscess on the side of my mouth. I have to go to the emergency room to get antibiotics because I got 2 abscess in my mouth. I don't know if it was from your tools, if it was from the partial, if it was from if it was from you not shaving it down. I don't know, but I have to get antibiotic. I got abscess in my mouth, and unfortunately, I don't want you touching my mouth.
I've actually had composite veneers done to me by my dentist and did tons of research on the procedure before doing it, so I feel like I know a lot more about this than your average person. However, I'm not claiming to be a dentist myself. Before I break down why this is such a horrible thing to be doing unlicensed, I want to break down the 3 levels of veneers typically offered to better understand what's going on. The most expensive type of veneers are porcelain veneers, which are the hardest, most durable, and typically last the longest. You may have seen horror photos of people getting their teeth ground down to little nubs to get these veneers, but in reality that's a procedure known as a crown prep, and despite becoming popular in recent years, most good dentists will recommend you avoid this type of treatment as it will damage your teeth for no real reason. I'll let an actual dentist explain in more detail.
This man is going to regret this so much in 5 years. As you guys know, when you go to somewhere like Turkey to get veneers, they don't actually give you veneers. You see, these are called crown preps, not veneers. You see, when you get veneers, they just shave a top layer off your teeth, just a tiny bit, and they put kind of an outer shell onto your teeth. If you look at his teeth, these are actually crown preps. They shave all the way around the tooth, getting rid of like 50% of your tooth to put a cap over the whole thing. People go over to different countries to get this done because it's cheaper and they think they're getting a good result, but really they're just ruining their teeth forever. Not only are his teeth damaged, he's gonna have much more sensitivity and pain throughout the years. He's gonna have to get his crowns redone every 10 years. That is if they don't get decayed and fall out. Please don't do this, please.
As the dentist explained in that clip, a real porcelain veneer just shaves a small portion of the front of the tooth and then places the porcelain on the front covering of said tooth. It's much less damaging to the tooth than the crown prep procedure shown in the clip, but it still requires the tooth to be shaved down slightly and does do some damage to the tooth to get the finished result. For those who don't want to go ahead with that route, myself included, there is a third option known as dental bonding, or what's commonly referred to as composite veneers. Dental bonding uses a gel-like material to fix chipped teeth, or in some cases just to make a tooth whiter or bigger. The gel is hit by a special blue light that causes it to rapidly harden, and it can be colored to match the tooth coloring perfectly. There are pros and cons to this type of veneer over a typical porcelain veneer, which the Cleveland Medical Clinic has a great article on. Dental bonding versus veneers, what's the difference? Porcelain veneers are custom-made ceramic shells that adhere to the front surface of your teeth. To place them, your dentist typically must remove some enamel from your natural teeth. Once placed, porcelain veneers are not reversible. They'll need replacing every 10 to 20 years. Dental bonding, on the other hand, may not require significant enamel removal. As a result, bonding is completely reversible. You'll likely need touch-ups every 3 to 10 years. You might hear dentists use the term composite veneers. This is when your dentist uses composite resin material to cover the entire surface of your tooth. So as you can see, composite veneers are a legitimate procedure by dentists, but when it's done by these veneer tech scammers, it could ruin lives if done incorrectly. I've actually had this bonding done to my teeth back in 2021 because I had a few chipped teeth from my bruxism, which is when you grind your teeth in your sleep. My dentist fixed my bite alignment with Invisalign in 2020, which helped with the bruxism, and then used composite bonding material to fix the chips in my teeth in 2021 after I finished my Invisalign treatment. The composite doesn't last as long as porcelain, which is much stronger, but it's a trade-off I'm willing to take because I don't really want to have my teeth partially shaved down. With that out of the way, let's go over why this is ruining lives by getting this done by these veneer tech scammers. In that clip, it shows a man with severe tooth decay, and then right after, he has perfect composite veneers covering it up. There are two main issues why this was a horrible idea. The first is the tooth decay that the man has needs to be fixed by a dentist, and honestly, those teeth would probably need to be pulled. Putting a composite veneer on top of that doesn't fix the problem and is only trapping the decay inside, where it will continue to rot away at his actual teeth. At some point, that veneer will need to be removed to fix the problem underneath. The second issue is that it appears that they basically rebuilt the entire tooth with this composite material. As I showed before, there are pros and cons to composite material being used. One of the cons is that it is not as strong as porcelain. If you're going to reconstruct an entire tooth like that, you would want to use porcelain, as making an entire new tooth out of composite resin is not what it was designed for and will most likely break down very quickly. On top of that, it seems like these veneer techs are trying to use composite veneers to replace what porcelain veneers usually do. In review of one of the services on Yelp, one lady mentions that they shaved her teeth down to chiclets in order to do the composite veneers. As I showed from the dentist earlier, that would actually be a crown they put on her tooth, and they should have used porcelain for that and not the composite material to do so. So as you can see, these scammer veneer techs have no idea what they are doing and are ruining people's lives doing this real procedure improperly with only 2 days of training from a scammer as their education on how to do so. It really is sad to see these people who now have horrible pain or ruined smiles all because they trusted these people thinking they were getting a good deal, when in reality they were just getting scammed. In the dental scam I covered last year, the guy who invented the AGA device was never sent to prison, but is currently being sued by multiple people who were affected by his palate expander device. In this case, it seems like there is at least a small silver lining, because the main villain of the story, a man named Brandon Dillard, who ran the fake dentist facility known as A-List Smiles in Atlanta, had his company raided and then was arrested following an investigation. Brandon is the one who was doing these veneer tech classes where he would approve new people to do these scam veneers after they paid him a few $1,000s. Fortunately, that's all shut down now, and Brandon is currently facing 8 felonies, including practicing dentistry without a license, practicing medicine without a license, and theft by deception. If I had to guess, I would say Brandon is going to be spending a long time behind bars after all those charges he racked up. Many people's lives were ruined because of this guy, and I doubt it will bring them much comfort, but at least this will prevent him from doing this to anyone else in the future. I think the moral of the story for everyone is that you should never take medical or dental advice from TikTok. In my opinion, I really do hope that that TikTok ban ends up going through, but let me know what you think in the comments below about this story.